the movie it requires us, which is what the film talks about.
Yeah.
You know, it manifests in food, food disorders, sexual disorders, shopping disorders, relationship with being codependent, being emotionally manipulative. That shit seeps out in so many different characteristics, human personality.
That's my daily schedule you just read off.
Yeah, I would love to hear you speak one day, bro. Real talk.
So you like to cook. You're cooking back there. Did you grow up like... Because I always assume that, people from the Caribbean, I always think about food. So it must have been, at least you had an interesting confluence of culture there in the food department, huh?
Absolutely. And I'm a foodie. I don't eat to live. I live to eat. You feel me? And I love everything about food, not just the eating process. I love the preparation. Like, in my mind, Rachael Ray is like one of my best fucking friends. I'll sit here and I'll watch a segment and the way and butter.
Yeah.
Put some of that. Oh, look at that.
It
makes my mouth water when she cooks. I share her passion for food. It's bananas. And then what I'll do is, I'll challenge myself. I'll I won't go to the website and look at the recipe. I could look at what she's doing that day. Now I know the basics of what she has a basic template that she works from, garlic, olive oil, little salt and pepper. There's some, so we got the same foundation. And I just kind of, I may put a little twist on it or change something up here. I may even fuck it up. Who knows? But I love the prepping of food. I love, trying new things. And Lord, do I love feeding people. I love when call people over, man, let's break bread, man, my people, my family, my friends.
Right, and then you serve everybody, and then you have that minute where you're like, how how good am I? I'm great, right? It's great, right? Yeah. I did that. Pretty fucking good, right?
I just love to see people eat, man.
Me too. And also it's a great way to occupy the time, man. I've been smoking fish. I'm a Jew, so I've been trying to figure out how to smoke the fish like the old Jews. And I got this smoker out there, so I'm fucking prepping, I'm brining, I'm smoking fish. Yesterday, I spent an hour trying to figure out how to make perfect baba ganoush. And then, you spend 3 hours doing this shit. Smoking fish takes hours. And then I'll eat it in 30 seconds. I don't give a fuck. I'll put hours into prep, and then I'll just plow through it. If I'm alone and I make something, I'll eat it in 25 seconds.
You're 2 for 2. The yoga mat and doing meditating in the morning. I'm going to find out how to smoke some fucking fish.
You got a smoker?
I'm going to get one because I know I've heard about this process before. I'm going to get the smoker and I'm going to go to air fryer. Those are two things I want to get. Try that shit. But the smoker, ooh.
Oh, yeah, I heard about the air fryer. Everyone's talking about the air
fryer.
They gave it to me. The Traeger grill, they gave me the smoker, the wood pellets. You got a yard to put it in?
Yeah, I got a little outdoor space. Yeah.
Yeah, throw it up there. Yeah, I mean, I've been smoking the fish, and I love to cook, and I'll do it by myself. Keeps me sane. It's the same thing you were talking about with the, I just got to be careful. If I get off on, I made a pie, if I eat, if I fucking make a pie, dude, I'm fucked for weeks. Then I'm making cakes.
Talk about putting the pie in the pie hole, huh?
Yeah.
I stay away from it. Yeah, my family, we were more pecan pie.
Oh, shit. Pie. Have you ever made that?
Those are never, but I will eat about 3 pies by myself. I promise you that. If
pecan, it's the best.
Or sweet potato.
Yeah.
Put that in front of me.
I eat sweet potatoes all the time. I just have them for a snack. That's what I do. And I drink a pot of coffee. This is how I manage my addiction, Mike. I fucking, just if there's ever a spare minute, I'm thinking about, all right, what can I eat? What do we got?
Ain't nothing. Listen, bro, you ain't hurt nobody. I mean, I love food. You know what I mean? And I try to keep it. I'm not a health nut in the sense where, I don't eat this, I don't eat that.
Yeah.
I don't care if I want a good, juicy, greasy cheeseburger, that's what I'm going to eat. I'm not doing that every day. I'm going to definitely make sure I use it in my regiment. But
yeah, it's good. Yeah, enjoy yourself. Try to enjoy
it beats
yourself.
the alternative. We got to enjoy life, man. We got to enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't think about the other shit at all anymore. So when did you start really doing the acting? I mean, when did you start doing it? Like, would you decide it was your life? I mean, was it one of those things where you're like, you got to save your life with something?
The Wire. So before The Wire, I used to be a background dancer, mostly house acts, Crystal Waters, Technotronics, things like that.
You were a dancer?
Like that. Yeah, man, I danced for like 7 years, man. And
self-taught?
Yeah, street dancer. I used to watch the Janet Jackson videos. That's how I learned how to catch choreography. Then I started going public, and I would try to do the dance. And they'd be like, "You're going the wrong way," because I would learn off the freaking TV, right?
That's funny. So it's a Rachael Ray and Janet Jackson. These are the keys to your existence.
Damn right. So around in 1998. Well, my first film I ever did was a film called Bullet. Tupac Shakur, the late great Tupac Shakur, he saw a picture, a Polaroid of me, and he saw that I had this scar on my face, and he was like, he told Julian Temple, the director, let's find this guy and audition him, and that was the first thing I'd ever done.
The scar got you the job?
Basically, yes, it did.
What was that fight about that got you that scar?
Real simple, in a couple of sentences. 25th birthday, pissy drunk, ballroom brawl. Nothing special. And I, except the fact that I almost lost my life that night. But
who started
it? There was a situation. Well, I started it. I was drunk. I had the liquid courage in me, and I saw a situation with someone that I had known at the time.
Yeah,
and it had nothing to do with me, and I stuck my nose in someone else's business. But in my drunk mind, I was being loyal, like, I'm not going to watch you get jumped. So, and I was, and so I was, pumping my chest out due to the alcohol, and I was in that zone. And when that situation de-escalated, those dudes that were having a confrontation with the person that I knew, they turned their attention on me, and the rest is history. So the second thing that I did was this movie called Mugshot, and it was with Matt Mahern from New York City. And it was an independent film, but I went from being just like Tupac's little brother to my second thing was a lead role in this independent film.
Yeah.
So I was starting to get a little, starting to think this could happen. And then Dick Wolf, he had all of his projects, New York Undercover, Law and Orders. That was essential for young New York City actors at the time. And I started booking those things, and then the phone just went dead. 1999 rolls around.
With the Dick Wolf stuff, though, were they did you feel like you were being typecast?
Hell no. I never, I still to this day don't acknowledge typecast. Newsflash, I don't get to assimilate into other cultures very much. I'm a black man, and I tell the black experience, right?
Yeah,
and, I'm from the hood.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact I have a front seat view with how people end up in the situations that they end up. No one wakes up one morning and says, I got it. I'm going to be a successful, a crack dealer on the corner. Or I'm going to be a successful thug that robs people. Or I'm going to be a successful thing. No one wakes up and says, I'm going to be a successful anything that gets them in jail. Right. They do that out of a series, out of a desperation and a feeling that they have no other options. Right. And I've watched that happen so many times to people that I call my brothers, my family members in my community. And when I started becoming an actor and people in Hollywood was looking to me to portray these stories, I immediately wore that as a badge of honor. Right. Because I was like, this is my community. These are my people. I know these people. I'm gonna do everything possible to make sure that people who don't know this lifestyle, who don't know this community, will leave from the story feeling empathy and having some sort of compassion and some sort of understanding. Not saying you got to agree, but those three things I made it my responsibility to leave the audience with those three things.
Well, that's interesting. So your point of view was that, like, you know, instead of looking at me as somebody who is pigeonholed by this type of role, you say, like, yeah, but these are real people who I know, and this is part of the experience, and I'm going to depict it with honesty and authenticity, you know, and these characters are gonna be alive. This isn't, I'm not playing a caricature. This isn't a puppet here, you know, so you won't. So I imagine that when you look at a script, you think in terms of, like, you know, how deep is this fucker? You know, like, is this a real thing, or are you selling this guy short?
I don't have to even wonder. I can read the first 20 pages and know you bullshitting as a writer.
Right.
I don't have to even. It's nothing to wonder about. What I go in the script looking for is, how do I identify? That's what I go looking for. Okay, Mike, how do you identify with this character? Because I know if you really saying you writing a story about my community, I'm going to find somewhere along this man's life, I'm going to have a parallel with him. So I go in looking for that, and I can tell you don't know what the fuck you talking about within the first 20 pages.
And where'd you learn the craft? Where'd you study the acting?
I studied. Well, I was, again, New York City, man. No city like it in the world, and I was blessed to be introduced to the off-Broadway theater world of New York City. My first play that I did was at a theater on the Lower East Side called the La Mama.
I know that place.
Theater under Ellen Stewart. I was actually, God bless her soul, man. I was the last play that she produced and directed and wrote. I was in that. It was a city opera, and it was called Tancredi and Armenia. And it was about the war of the cultures in that part of the world, Middle East. And then I studied there for about a year or two. And then I left and went to Harlem, and I studied under the late, great Tunde Samuels. And he worked out at the National Black Theater, as we call it, NBT. And there was a young writer, director. Her name is Judy Shepard King. And she had written this play called Endangered Species. And I got a part in that. And then thirdly, my good friend and brother, Ray Thomas, I owe a lot to. He's from Philadelphia. Shout out to Philly. And he brought his mentor and his theater company to New York City. Every Saturday, these men would either get on the train or they would pile up in cars, and they would come to New York every Saturday, and they would teach. And Mel Williams, he's the director of the company, and it's called Theater for a New Generation. And every Saturday, man, we would come and we would have class either at the Producers Club or any little black box in New York City, man. And we would from 12 to 3, we would have a theater class. And then, it would be a 10-week course that he would do. And then around the 4th or 5th week, he would start giving out, he would break us up into groups, into partners, and he would give us scenes like from a classic plays like Streetcar Named Desire, Ceremonies and Dark Old Men. He has a litany of classic plays. He would take scenes and he would give us the different groups scenes. And at the end of the 10th week, the last 2 weeks, he put us on stage. We would put up, and he called it, the theater night would be called the Night of Scenes. And we'd sell tickets and get people to come. And I did that for years, man. And I took that into the audition process, man, in Hollywood. And I started to book. But then, like I was saying earlier, man, the phones went dead like around 99.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get a gig. And so, my mom, God bless her, man, she retired, and she decided that, sitting down wasn't for her. And she opened up a daycare in the projects where we lived. And by 2001, she was blossoming, like, 70-year-old woman with no education, like, really doing it. And so
what, the daycare center got popular?
It got popular, man. And at her highlight, the kids, we took them from 1 to 5 years old. So when they left us, they went to first grade. The kids that were leaving our daycare were performing academically on such a high rate. We were the number one in the community in Flatbush. We were coming out.
You were teaching?
No. after, like I was saying, when I couldn't get, I stopped booking.
Yeah.
And in 2000, my mom took all of us to the Bahamas, where she's from, because that was the end of the world. The 2K was coming. The
Yeah.
end of the